so.
I can go cut your hair.
Yeah, I guess I get to go cut my hair.
Hello, good morning. I am 1 week post-transfer. I have blood work today. And I got this question a lot on Instagram, so I thought I would just like fill you in here. I'll probably answer Instagram too. I've answered everybody in direct messages, but I'll probably like make a story. This is just a check-in for my meds. My clinic actually doesn't do beta blood work. So according to my chart, this is just a check-in to see where my hormone levels are, to make sure that my medications are still running correctly, if they need to make any adjustments. And then Tuesday, which would be what, 5 days from now, yes, is my pregnancy test. However, I have to tell you a little story. Let's sit down so I can chat. Okay, you guys ready to chat? This is gonna be like a very heart to heart. My hair is looking crazy. Also, I put on my like artificial lights because it's so dark. How is it like 6 a.m. and it's still so dark out? Okay, so I know I already introed this a certain way, but I wanted a story time with you. I promised my husband, I promised my best friend, I promised my sister that I would not pregnancy test and at all, like at home test, absolutely not. I did have some here because I was pregnancy testing over the summer. We've been trying to conceive for 9 years, but this summer we started, or this spring in February, we started working with our fertility doctor, and over the summer I was instructed to test once a month, like if I was gonna drink or anything, just to make my window was safe, because we were actively trying naturally, just keeping myself safe and hoping for the best at that point, that like, yes, I was gonna get a positive test. So I had tests here at home. My best friend did ask me for them, and I was like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, I promised Joe I wouldn't. So like, when that was on transfer day, she asked, and I was like, don't worry about it. Like, I don't even, whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. I'm not gonna test. She asked for them before transfer day, and then a few days later, and I was like, I'm not gonna test. But that is not the case. The last time you guys saw me that I sat down and talked to you, that was 4 days post-transfer. I guess it was technically 3 days post-transfer, which was Sunday. My transfer was on a Thursday. I had the most emotional day. Like, I would be hysterically crying for like a couple minutes, and then I would be hysterically laughing, and then I would be just, I was just all over. I was a train wreck. I am an emotional person, but not uncontrollable. So later that night, I just knew. I knew I was pregnant, and I told my husband, I'm pregnant. And he was like, babe, it's only been 3 days. They had told us like there wouldn't even be a sign of positive until like days 7 through 9 if you choose to home test. And I was like, no, I know. Like, everybody used to tell me, like, I just knew. And I used to think, gosh, you're so crazy. Like, how the hell do you know? Like, what's going on in your body? Like, the embryo is so small. Like, how do you know? And people would just tell me I knew. And my sister told me the same thing. Some of my best friends that have had babies are like, you're just gonna know. Like, if it works, you're gonna know. And I thought, there's no way I'm gonna know, because like, I'm not gonna know. No. Like, as crazy as I sound, I knew. I knew Sunday. It would take the hysterics away that was happening. I knew. So I told my husband, and he was like, babe, it's okay. Like, don't overthink it. And then Sunday night I had spotting. After I had told him, it was a couple hours later, we had went to see the sunset, and I like, yeah. And so a couple hours later after that, I had taken a shower to get ready for the next day, and I had some spotting, and it like confirmed in my mind that like, yes, like I had all the positive signs. I had like 24 hours plus of cramping. That was like the weirdest cramping I've ever felt in my life. Nothing have I ever felt like implantation cramping. Like, I'll always remember the way that felt. It was almost like an irritation or a burn. It was very unique. It was not like a period cramp or a uterus cramp. It was just like someone was literally burrowing into my skin. And since they are technically burrowing into your skin, like, that's how I can explain it. And I know everybody has it a little different, because obviously I looked up like what it might feel like in case, like, what if I miss it? what if I don't feel it? So Monday morning, which would be 4 days post-transfer for DPT, I woke up to use the restroom at like 1:30 in the morning, tried to go back to bed, could not fall back to sleep. I got up at 2 and I was originally just gonna come downstairs and watch Gilmore Girls because I have to take my meds at 3:30 before my husband goes to work. He gives me my PIO, I take my suppositories, I take my estradiol, everything is, you know, done at that time. So I was like, I'll just get up and watch Gilmore Girls. If I doze on the couch, not a big deal. I don't have to work today, so like, I'll just take it really easy. But I decided to take a pregnancy test with me, and I didn't want to do it in our master bathroom because it's right off our bedroom. So I came downstairs and I did wake my husband up. He thought something was wrong. So I came out of the bathroom and he was like, are you okay? Like, is everything good? And I'm holding this pregnancy test and I'm like, babe, please don't be mad. And he's like, mad at what? And I showed him and there was the ever faintest pink line on day 4. And he's like, okay, yeah, it's like a little pink, but like, he's like, you can like kind of barely see it. But like, I believe you, it's there. But I'm like thinking, he doesn't believe me still. He thinks that this test like has a tiny pink line on it, like a faint line. He doesn't believe me. So let me show you what I did. I did this. You cannot see the pink line on this first one. It is so faint. I feel like you can only see it in person in the light. I do not think the camera is gonna pick that up for anything. Oh, maybe a little bit. I can't tell if you can see it. Can you see it? Maybe. I don't know. It's there. I might be crazy. It is definitely there. Anyways, that one's hard to pick up on camera. These, however, I took one the next day, darker, 6. This is today, day 7. It's definitely the darkest. I'm like sad you can't like see that one, but it's okay. Just know it's there. Yeah. So did I ruin it? No, I don't think so. Now I've had people say like, you should wait. It's the best thing I did, getting that news. I've had people say that they couldn't wait. They literally tested morning, noon, and night because they were so excited. I feel like I needed to once I had that feeling of I'm pregnant. Like once I mean, I was so confident. Like anybody could have passed me in the street and asked me, I'd been like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Like I know I'm pregnant. It was so weird. But personally, I feel like even like more so than proving to my husband that I was right, because he did want to wait, is that I needed to like almost confirm it for myself, because if I didn't, I think I would have went crazy the last few days feeling the way I do and just thinking like, am I feeling weird? And then just like having it be the only thing I think about. As soon as I tested, I was like, okay, I'm so at peace. I'm so happy. It freaking worked. And now I can go on about my life. Like that's how I felt, because otherwise I just felt like I would just be like sitting around and just like waiting. And I just couldn't do that. I thought I could. No, I couldn't. So yeah, we are, I mean, I feel like my husband is waiting for the doctor to confirm like that this is real, but I like couldn't be any happier like to know that we have a success. And there's a lot of like mixed feelings that I'm having. Like I talked to my boss who did IVF and she has a beautiful success story. It's actually my old boss, but you know, I was so grateful to have her throughout this entire thing because she went through this like 15 years ago. And so like knowing that she was a success story and she had very, very similar fertility issues that Joe and I had, like that's what they had, knowing, you know, their success rate and, you know, how they walk through it, it was really nice over the past like few days. Like I've gotten to talk to her and like tell her, and I've obviously talked to her over the last few months too. But one of the things that confirmed to me that I do want to share this as soon as we are is something that she said to me is I am being a huge voice and advocate for those who are scared to do IVF. And it's so fearful because a lot of times, if you're like me, when you start looking it up, when you start looking at other people, you are so scared to get your hopes up that you're almost too scared to move forward. And I want to tell you right now, it doesn't matter if you are successful the first time, it's like not giving up on your dream. And she used those words with me, and it was like, that's exactly how I feel. So I want to be an advocate. I want to be a voice, and I wanted to be from the beginning. I've shared this all in real time. Everything's like delayed by a few days, this entire process, but I want to continue to share because I want to be a voice. I want to be someone who, when someone feels down or needs comfort, they can come to my channel and see like, hey, I'm not always feeling 100%. I show up without makeup. I show up in tears. I show up anxious and stressed and all over the place. And sometimes I come up on happy and at peace. But those are the emotional roller coasters that we're all gonna ride if we are on this journey. And it's not an easy journey. Maybe from the outside looking in, you're like, oh, she has it so easy. No, I've been a freaking mess since July. I can link the videos down below, and you can see me literally bawling on screen because I was so freaking scared. Like, is this going to work? Should I get my hopes up? So I just want to be a voice. I want to be an advocate. And, you know, to me, it's like, I want to live in the day. I want to live in today. I don't want to live in the what ifs. I don't want to, you know, live in the doubts of what could happen, because I want to live in today. I want to share my good news today. And I feel like that's how a lot of women want to be, but it's so scary to share that you are pregnant because of miscarriages and stuff. And that's another reason why, if you have the opportunity to PGT your embryos, because it does significantly lower the cause of miscarriage. Unless you are someone who has miscarried before, then your percentage is different. Our percentage, we were told, was less than 5%. So things can still happen. My body's gonna be like so rested. I don't even know what they're gonna say on Tuesday when it comes to like how I can work out. I'm just hoping I can walk again. I'm pretty sure they're gonna tell me to take it nice and easy, as I probably will want to, because who knows, in the next few weeks, I might not feel like myself. I might just feel like I have tons of morning sickness. So I just want to be a voice and advocate. And so some people have shared with me their concerns about like, hey, you shouldn't share this too early, because like if something happens, then you're gonna have to backpedal and tell people. Great, that's part of my story, and I will share it. If something does happen, I will share it. I will be open, because I want women to feel empowered and not fearful or feel like they're at shame because something happens. Celebrate today, because if you don't celebrate today, tomorrow may never come and you lost your chance to celebrate. So celebrate the small wins, no matter how small they are. I mean, every single procedure I had, we would go out to dinner and celebrate, because I was like, oh my gosh, we made it through another one. We made it through another test. We made it through another appointment. Let's celebrate. I'm not gonna hold my breath through this entire process and just like wait for the baby to arrive. Like, that's not what I want. I wanna enjoy every moment. And sometimes that means that you have to enjoy the downs just as much as the ups, because then you can like really lavish in those ups. So that's why I'm choosing to share now. Maybe that is frowned upon by some people, because trust me, I've gotten comments, I've gotten DMs of people being like, you know, you should really keep this to yourself. And I'm like, no, I started sharing this because I wanted people to see how hard this is. And did I think that we were gonna have success? I've told you from the beginning, I never allowed myself to think that this wouldn't work. I only told myself that this was gonna work. So I feel like just manifesting it and telling myself, don't believe in this. Don't think it's gonna not work. Don't even have any doubt. Don't leave room for that. Just positivity all the way. I feel like just kind of like gets rid of that energy in your body. So, okay, I am gonna be late for work. So I will check in after my appointment. Hey, it's much later in the day now, but I ran with my husband to get his prescription filled, and when we were coming back, I didn't have my camera, and my coordinator called to give me the blood work results of today. So let me go back and tell you about my blood work today, give you the whole recap, because I forgot my camera when I left the clinic before I went to work, so I have a lot to catch you up on. First of all, when the blood lady we have is absolutely amazing. I love her. She's the sweetest person in the world. When I sat down to, you know, draw blood, I whispered, I was like, I think it worked. And she was like, girl, have you been naughty and testing at home? And then she laughed and she was like, listen, everybody does. Everybody says they're gonna wait, and they don't wait because they're too excited. And they come in here and they tell me, oh my God, it worked, or I think it worked, or I'm pregnant. And like, they're so excited. She said, well, like, what was your transfer day again? Was it Thursday or Friday? And she sees tons of people, so I was shocked that she remembered that. I was like, it was Thursday, so it's been a week. She's like, okay, so did you test today because you're in that 7 through 9 day window? And I was like, actually, I tested on day 4. And she's like, and you got a positive on day 4? And I was like, yes. I was like, it was a slight pink line, but it was a positive. And she's doing her thing and she stops and she looks at me. She's like, listen, I've been doing this a long time and HCG is fickle. If you got a positive on day 4, you're either having twins or you're gonna have a 12-pound baby. It's gonna be a big, big baby. I was like, oh, okay. So now fast forward, blood work came in. My coordinator called to give me an update and she asked me how I was doing. She asked me, are you nervous for Tuesday? I said no, and I kind of laughed. I was like, I'm actually very excited, implying I have taken a pregnancy test. She laughed and she said, good, I'm glad to hear you're excited. And then I said, I'm just really shocked. And she said, you shouldn't be. And then she said, okay, my mind needs a minute. She said, if you have any indication that implantation happened, you will be able to successfully maintain your pregnancy because your hormones are perfect. Like, if you guys didn't know, the reason most often that you miscarry, the most common reasons with FET is because of your progesterone level. That's number 1. It has to be supporting because your body's not building it on its own. So you have to make sure that's supported. Again, this is just what I've been told. This is what the questions I asked. I've never been pregnant before. I've never had a miscarriage, so I don't know. This is what they told me per FET. The second thing is that the embryo has to make sure it has all adequate cells to grow inside the body. If your body recognizes that a chromosome is missing, a cell is not like firing, it doesn't have enough energy, it will also miscarry. But that is the reason you do PGT, so they can grade your embryos and say, okay, these we say will transfer successfully with the right amount of progesterone. Now, progesterone is also fickle, and a lot of people do a mock run pre-FET to get their body ready. So their body is like basically going through all the steps of FET, but you don't have an FET, you have a biopsy. We actually opted out of doing this. Our clinic asked us if we wanted to, they gave us the option, we said no. But if this transfer were to fail, we would do a mock cycle the next time around to like 100% make sure we got the progesterone level and timing correct. So I feel very, very good about this. I knew I was at peace. It's crazy the feeling that I just knew and feel. So I'm excited to share this and I will see you Tuesday. I'm not gonna vlog until Tuesday, and then we'll check in with the call that we get from our office to share the wonderful news officially with you guys.
Hey, do I have both of you?
You do. I just yelled at him. I was like,
Congratulations.
Yay.
Very, very positive.
Do you know what the HCG levels are?
358, which is huge for me.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I knew I was pregnant day 3. I knew it. Like, no one can convince me differently. And I took a test day 4 and it was positive.
Good.
So I knew I was just like, I knew I was right. So what is our next step?
So next step is to come back on, let's see what day was today, Tuesday, on Friday.
Oh, this Friday?
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, well, I'll be in Friday for
Thank you
blood
for my
work.
present.
You're welcome. Thank you for helping us through everything. It's been so wonderful to have you. Thank you.
I can't wait to light it, because today I'm going to be sauteing some garlic and onions.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Perfect time to use it. My good smelling candle.
Awesome. All right, well, I'll be in Friday, and if I have any questions, I'll email you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What time did you want to come in? So just call or email if you have any questions, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right. Take care.
All right, bye.
I guess we're pregnant.
Are you happy? Oh. I don't know if I'm crying or I'm laughing.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
I can get that to your hair.
yeah, I guess I get to go up my hair.